Ciao Bella, welcome to Bella Uncinetto. I'm Christina and I'm so glad that you're here with me today. If you're new, welcome in. If you're returning, welcome back. No matter how long you've been here, I always appreciate your time. Today we are going to talk about amigurumi techniques, particularly how I stuff my amigurumi. I had someone ask me a question at work today. They were trying to make like a little ball, and they were like, the stuffing just keeps coming out. Like their kids were playing with it and they're like, it just keeps coming out. I don't understand. Like, do you have a thing that you do? And I thought, well, yeah. So I told them, but then I thought maybe I should tell all of you, right? And I've talked about it before, but I've never actually made a video just about what I do. So, let me grab one more thing. This chair is cuckoo bananas. Okay, Okay, so when I'm making an amigurumi, you typically use polyfill like this, right? This is a bag that I have. And you can use these pellets, right? So I like to use these for something that needs to be weighted. So something that needs like feet to be like heavy or something like that. And you can use a combination, obviously. But these tend to not stay in their place. And then also, if you're using something that kids are going to be using a lot, like they're going to be handling, so like my Gandhi up there, no kid is going to play with that, right? That stays in my yarn room. It's not going anywhere. But my daughter, I made her a little stuffed cat, an amigurumi cat, and I used some of the polyfill, but what I also did was I used some of my yarn scraps. So I have 2 of these actually, and anytime I have, just like if I'm weaving in ends and I snip the piece off, or if I'm working on a project and let's say I'm playing yarn chicken, as we do, and I am I got to the end, whatever, or I need to change yarn, add in another color, whatever it is, right? Any small piece of like, oh, I finish and I have like something that I really cannot add into a magic ball or something like that, I will put in here. And I got these at Hobby Lobby a long time ago. They were on 50% off sale when I bought them because they were $5.99 each. And it says they're food safe and dishwasher safe. I've never tried it, but I got 2 of them because I thought they would be cool, like looking in my yarn room. So, or in my yarn space. At the time, I didn't have a room, but anyway, I use that. Now, to keep it from sticking out, one of the things that I like to do is get like pantyhose or tights. I find that children's tights work better than pantyhose, like adult women's pantyhose, because they tend to be a little bit thicker. So while it will add just a tiny bit more weight to your project, it will keep things from coming out more. So especially with the beads, right? I would definitely put beads in the tights or the pantyhose. The other cool thing about kids' tights that I like is that they literally come in all kinds of colors. So, like, I did a gnome for a giveaway prize. And I had some light blue tights. I used them, but I had some light blue tights. And I put the stuffing and the yarn inside of there, and then when the little holes in the crochet, you don't see the color as much. So if you use like a brown or a white or a black, like a women's pantyhose, because they don't come, they don't come in a lot of colors, right? Women's pantyhose tend to come in skin tones or black, right? It's very rare that you're going to find something that is multicolored. And children's tights tend to be smaller, so I don't feel like I have to use a lot of it. So women's pantyhose, they tend to be longer, and you have to like knot both ends, so as you're going up, I feel like I waste more of them, if that makes sense. So I bought this rainbow pack before I moved here, and I only have a few colors left, but that's okay, because some of these I could use, like I used a lighter brown than this in the Gandhi, so I had like an actual tan that I put the stuffing in for him, and then this I could use for a bear or something like that. But then, you know, if I was making a dragon, or if I was making a bunny in this color or something similar, it doesn't have to be an exact match, right? But I find that you see it less, right? So through the little holes, because crochet does have the little holes, and that's how the stuffing gets pulled out. That's how the beads would fall out if you don't put them in something. So I like to take, if I'm using the yarn, right, I will do a combination of yarn and stuffing, and I will put, I'll show you, let me put these back. Sorry for all the crinkling. And I just got these on Amazon. So, and it came in this bag. This is the bag that it came in, and it had a whole rainbow. It was like, I don't know, 12 or 15 pairs of tights, kids tights. And it was extremely cheap. That's the other thing. For some reason, women's pantyhose tend to be more expensive, and you can't buy a lot of them. Like I said, it was like, I think it was like 12 or 15 pair. And it was, I've been here almost 3 years, and I've had them for a long time. So anyway, what I like to do with the yarn, let me get some of this out, is I will take out some yarn. You do just need to be mindful if someone has allergies. So like this is wool, and I wouldn't put this in an amigurumi that I was going to give to somebody who was allergic to wool. But I'll take this, and then I'll take some polyfill. Like, I don't know, this is just for testing purposes. And then I will wrap the polyfill kind of around it and stretch it out. And you can always add more, right? But then look at how much bigger that ball is, right? Just from that yarn, right? And it's a good way to use up scraps that you don't end up throwing away. You don't end up just stuffing in a drawer somewhere, because like I'm never going to be able to put this. Where am I going to put this? What am I going to do with it? I can't add it to anything. But these are the scraps from my my chair cover, right? So all of these little scraps are all things from when I was weaving in my ends that I had. So I just keep them and do it like that. So I will, I don't know that I can link anything specifically down below. I can't do anything with Hobby Lobby. I can't access the website here. You can't access it when you're overseas. So, I mean, I'm sure there are ways, but nothing I'm going to talk about on video. But I did buy these at Hobby Lobby. Like I said, I can show you the sticker. It's a Hobby Lobby light bulb jar. I just thought they were cool. I actually bought these when I was looking for spice jars. because in the States especially, I grew a lot of herbs, and I would make like, I tried to make paprika. It didn't really work that well, but I did try with some peppers, and I tried to like dry them out and things like that. It didn't work so well. But I did do a lot of herbs, so I had like basil, parsley, thyme, rosemary, all of that, and I bought the food safe spice jars, and I saw these when I was getting those jars, and I thought that would just be the coolest thing to put yarn in. I don't know why, but it just made me super, super happy. So I bought them. But I hope that helps you if you're wondering like how to keep the stuffing inside, or if you, especially with the pellets, right? I've always heard putting the pellets inside something, because they are very tiny and they will come out. But you can definitely do it with polyfill and yarn scraps too. The other thing that I like to do, and I don't have it here, when I first moved here and I didn't have any of my yarn supplies, I had nothing, just like what I brought with me in my suitcase. It was a project that I was working on. It was literally it. I actually went to the thrift store on base and bought a pillow and just seam ripped that thing open, pulled out the polyfill. I like sanitized it, sprayed it with Lysol and that kind of stuff, and let it sit out. And then I use that in things. So if you find that, you know, getting polyfill is something that you're like, that just seems, recycle a pillow. You know, all the throw pillows, not all, let me not say that. Most throw pillows have this inside of them. And, you know, you can sanitize it and reuse it. Why not? Right? And I did that for a couple of things that I made for my daughter. She's not going to care. So definitely you can do that as well. Trying to think if there's any other like stuffing tips. I guess the only other thing that I would say is when you're using like the tights, I try to measure a little bit smaller than what I think I'm gonna need, because it stretches so much. And then once I get a good, like especially with like a head shape or something, once I get a good size, before I start to decrease, I'll put the tights inside there, and then I just start filling. So I'll like do a decrease row and put some stuffing in, do a decrease row and put some stuffing in, do a decrease row, put some yarn scraps in, and then I put the stuffing on top, you know, like I do it like that. And then before I decrease all the way, probably by about the third-ish row, like I have maybe 3 decrease rows left, then I'll tie the knot of the tights, and then it should be big enough. But you want to make sure that it's not super firm to where it's like bulging, because then the gaps in the crochet will be bigger, especially over time. And then even if it's the same color or similar color, it's going to peek through more. So, I mean, you can play around with it, of course, but definitely pay attention. Oh, I hit the wire. Pay attention to when you are filling it, so that you know when to tie it off. And it depends on what you're making. So, like, again, for the Gandhi, there's actually 2 pieces in there. So, like, his body is stuffed with 1 piece and tights, and then his head is stuffed with another piece. And that actually kind of helped his head stay the next day, because there's a knot right there in the neck, as well as pipe cleaner. Because I took the pipe cleaner and stuffed it into the bottom pantyhose, and then when I was doing the top pantyhose, it's kind of like stuffed in there together. So one, the pipe cleaner doesn't stab anyone. And then also to kind of keep them combined so the stuffing in the head doesn't come up and the stuffing in the body doesn't fall down. I don't know. Many of these tips may not help you. If you don't do amigurumi, none of them are going to help you. But since someone asked me at work, I thought, that would make an interesting video. And I hope that it's helpful. Of course, with the jars, you can use anything. I don't use it as a stuffing jar, but like I have this little jar that I have with pens and stuff in it, and it's something I got at Dollar Tree, and it just has all kinds of things in it. But it has a lid, which obviously I'm not using because of the things that are sticking out of it. But there was a lid, so if you wanted to use something like this, you could use a vase or a vase, depending on how you pronounce it. You could, I don't know, crochet a basket and put your yarn scraps in it. I don't know. You can use anything, right? This just made me happy. So that's why I got it. And if it's something that's bigger, like this is scraps. This I wouldn't put inside here because this I can use in another project. But these are literally all just things that I've clipped off the end of something, projects that I've made. And it's kind of nice sometimes to, like, as I'm going through, I can be like, oh yeah, I made such and such. Like, this is from a dress that I made. This is from the Under the Sea blanket from Lether Co. This is from something I made for my daughter. These are scraps from the Stag and the Serpent. And then, like, I have all kinds of things. This is from a wrap that I made. This is from a baby blanket, the baby blankets that I made. There's some cotton scraps in here, and you can separate your scraps too. Like, I don't, obviously, but you could if you wanted to differentiate, especially for allergies. I don't. I probably should, because I do have people in my life that are allergic to wool, but I don't. So, yeah, okay. I think that's it. Yeah, I didn't like make a list or plan everything that I was going to say. I was just like, I'll just get my things out and say things as they come to me. So that's what I did. If there's anything that you do for amigurumi, or how do you store your yarn scraps, what do you do with your polyfill, do you ever use the poly beads, how do you store, if you have like scraps like this, how do you store those? What do you do with them? How do you manage all of that? I have a bin over here that has scraps in it, and it's organized by fiber type. But then I also have a big box out there that I use for my crochet classes of scrap balls, because that's a good way to use them, and I can give them to people and they can practice. So those are always nice as well. So yeah, I would love to know what you do. Give me some ideas of things that you do, or things that you would like to do. Like, if I had world enough in time, right? This is what I would do with my yarn scraps. What would that be? I would love to know. Put it in the comments below. And until then, as always, be well, be safe, and be the change you wish to see in the world, everyone. Ciao bella!